All right, so over the course of Kendrick Lamar's career, he's at these epic moments where his verses just completely stop time. What usually happens is he spits a verse where he calls out the entire rap game. It really becomes a moment in hip hop. Now, some people might say that this is clout chasing.
I'll be real, like I've thought of doing that before. You know, I thought like, man, it would be crazy if I just went off on everybody, but it's just kind of like, where does it really get me? Then what? Then every time I rap, people are gonna expect me to be confrontational, and when I'm not, then it's not entertaining.
Hey y'all, I am a one-man show. I record, edit the video myself, create the thumbnail, everything, so hitting like and subscribe does help a bunch. Thanks so much. Back to the video. Some people might say it's great for competition in hip hop.
I think Kendrick's verse on Control was amazing. I don't really think that, you know, he was dissing anybody. I just think that he was saying, these are the people that are my competition.
But regardless of how you feel about it, Kendrick Lamar has multiple of these moments. I call them his crash out moments, where he says, let's forget all this courtesy, that we're colleagues. Let's forget all pleasantries, and let's just go directly at each other if you guys really want to do this. And the first time I can remember Kendrick doing this was back in 2010. It was on the Monster freestyle. So this is Kanye West's song Monster.
Everybody know I'm a motherfucking monster.
Kanye West was rolling out My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy album, and this was during the mixtape era, so rappers would rap over each other's beats. And this song was really Kendrick Lamar's first viral moment. You know, was posted on the blogs, World Star Hip Hop. This freestyle really reached a lot of people and was a lot of people's first time hearing Kendrick Lamar.
Bitch, I think I'm Tupac. Bitch, I think I'm B.I.G. Bitch, I think I'm Eazy-E. I'm Big L and I'm ODB.
And a large part of that was because of what he's saying in his verse. So the entire verse is just like Kendrick bragging about how great he is, but there are some pretty big name drops in this verse.
Bitch, I think I'm Tupac. Bitch, I think I'm B.I.G. Bitch, I think I'm Eazy-E. I'm Big L and I'm ODB.
I think I'm Tupac. I think I'm Biggie. I think I'm Eazy-E, Big L, ODB. He's comparing himself to hip-hop legends, the likes of Tupac, Biggie, Wu-Tang Clan. And this is Kendrick at the very beginning, before anyone really knew who he was, already comparing himself to the greats. He's obviously trying to make some noise. He's trying to ruffle some feathers, get his name out there. He says, I bomb on Obama if dude get in my way.
I go inside the studio and suicide bomber. I bomb on Obama if that nigga get in my way.
So Obama's not even a rapper. Obama catches stray. And here's the crash out part of this verse. Kendrick proclaims, I'm the best rapper alive.
I'm the best rapper alive. I'm the best rapper alive. I'm the best rapper alive.
Any rapper who proclaims this is going to get some type of blowback. It's like T.I. saying he's the king of the South. It's like a receiver in the NFL saying, yo, I'm the best receiver in the league. I'm the best defensive back in the league.
Well, I'm the best corner in the game. When you try me with a sorry receiver like Crabtree, that's the result you're gonna get.
You're going to get blowback. Like, it's going to be headline news because it's like, who does this guy think he is, right? Kendrick is saying this at the beginning of his career, but he takes it further.
I'm the best rapper alive. Jigga Man shoulda retired.
He says, I'm the best rapper alive. Jigga Man shoulda retired. Jigga Man being Jay-Z. The first rapper call out we get. I'm better than Jay-Z. And by saying this, Kendrick is implicitly saying, I'm better than Wayne too. Because Wayne was the rapper who we know best for saying he's the best rapper alive.
The best rapper alive. Since the best rapper retired.
After Jay-Z retired, that was the bar. I'm the best rapper alive since the best rapper retired. Kendrick flips it. Said, I'm the best rapper alive. Jay-Z should have retired. At this point, Jay-Z was back in the rap game. He had released the Blueprint 3. He would go on to, a couple months later, release Watch the Throne. Jay-Z's back in the rap game. Kendrick is saying, yo, you should have stayed retired.
I'm going after Kanye. Lupe Fiasco and Nas. Snoop Dogg and Mr. Andre. Eminem bust.
Kendrick continues, I'm going after Kanye, Lupe Fiasco and Nas, Snoop Dogg, Andre 3000, Eminem, Busta Rhymes. So Kendrick is essentially calling out the best rappers in the game in the year 2010. Kanye, who was right in his prime, about to drop Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, Lupe Fiasco, and this is like the one time and the only time Kendrick has ever mentioned Lupe Fiasco on a record. Lupe was undoubtedly one of the best rappers in the year 2010. I mean, he's one of the best rappers of all time, but it's this little name drop right here that's the seed in what will become a one-sided beef, Lupe Fiasco versus Kendrick. I mean, it's not even a versus, really. Lupe Fiasco has just gone on interviews and even on record talking about Kendrick so much. It's a really one-sided beef. Lupe, we love your raps, but Lupe is like stuck in this cycle of every couple years he'll make a comment that can be seen as disparaging about Kendrick, such as, yo, Logic is a better rapper than Kendrick. Logic.
Is Logic
over Kendrick?
right?
Love Logic.
Yes.
Over Kendrick?
Yes.
Then Lupe will get called to interviews. He'll get called to an interview, you know, like a Breakfast Club or something, and they'll ask him about his comments that he made about Kendrick. I mean, they're bringing you to this interview to talk about your comments. Then Lupe Fiasco will say, I'm tired of talking about Kendrick. Why does everybody want to keep asking me about Kendrick? Well, it's because you keep talking about him. So I know that was a little side note there, but Lupe is stuck in like this vicious cycle with himself. This is the only time Kendrick has ever mentioned Lupe, but really it's a tribute to him because he's naming Lupe amongst the best rappers of all time, really. Kanye, Nas, Snoop is mentioned, Andre 3000 is mentioned, Eminem, and Busta Bust Rhymes.
Y'all better not bust no more rhymes. I'ma start busting your ass. Hit you up with a Mack truck, then throw a bust on your ass.
Kendrick says, y'all better not bust no rhymes. I'ma start busting your ass. So y'all need to stop rapping because I'm coming. Pause. I'm coming hard. Hit you with a Mack truck, then throw a bus on your ass. So yeah, that's really the first call out, crash out verse, if you will, by Kendrick. He calls out Kanye, Lupe, Nas, Snoop, Andre 3000, Eminem, Busta Rhymes, and even Barack Obama, and he compares himself to Tupac, Biggie, Eazy-E, Big L, ODB. So this verse was actually effective because, like I said, this verse was really Kendrick's first viral moment. It was the first time a lot of people heard of Kendrick. I had known about Kendrick before this, so I have a pretty good gauge on what songs earlier in his career made noise and which songs didn't. I'm telling you, this was the very first song that Kendrick dropped that made noise like that. All right, so the next crash out verse by Kendrick, where he calls out the rap game, everybody knows this song. It starts with a C. Say it with me. Control. So this is Kendrick's guest feature on Big Sean's song Control.
It's rain like it's Mayweather, good music, yay weather, champagne just tastes better.
We all know what happens here, or maybe some of us don't, right? Everyone who experienced this,
Hell flex to drop a bomb on this shit. So many bombs ring the alarm like Vietnam on this shit.
you remember where you were when you first heard this, and you remember the reaction.
I think Kendrick killed it. He put on for the West Coast. He killed it. He kind of took a Nas approach to it. It was one of those moments where you're like sitting on the phone with a friend like, oh! So yeah, he did it. He did his thing.
Everybody was talking about Kendrick in his verse.
I knew what it was for hip hop culture. I knew how important it was.
This moment on Control, Kendrick's verse, is perhaps top 5 moments in hip hop history. His beef with Drake, all that stuff going down within like 5 or 6 days of each other, that's another top 5 hip hop moment. But this verse right here is another hip hop moment. And this verse ruffled a lot of feathers, specifically Drake.
I feel like he made a decision, you know what I'm saying? And it was a decision to make. You know, he was like, man, I'm either going to go for this moment because I know it's going to be a big moment, or I'm going to like take heed to the fact that I have real relationships and I'm going to like not do that.
Kendrick and Drake already kind of had a strange relationship, especially their fan bases. Their fan bases were just kind of opposite people at the time. Kendrick being underground, Drake being mainstream. So there's some stuff brewing already. But this verse really pissed Drake off.
I heard the barbershops being great debates all the time about who's the best MC, Kendrick, Jigga, and Nas.
Kendrick starts the verse. I heard the barbershops being great debates all the time. Who's the best MC? Kendrick, Jigga, and Nas.
Who's the best MCs? Biggie, Jay-Z, and Nas.
So Kendrick is taking a similar route in this verse as he did in his Monster verse. Honestly, I think Kendrick patterned this verse on Control after his Monster verse, because not only does he call out some of the same names that he did in Monster, being Nas, Eminem, Andre 3000, and Jay-Z, but he's calling them out in the context of these are the best rappers. These are who I consider the best. And he names them.
Jermaine Cole, Big Crit, Wale, Pusha T, Meek Mills, A$AP Rocky, Drake.
He says the rest of y'all are just new niggas.
The rest of y'all, new niggas, just new niggas. Don't get involved.
Mind you, Kendrick at this point is a new nigga. But even so, he says, yo,
I'm usually homeboys with the same niggas I'm rhyming with, but this is hip hop and them niggas should know what time it is.
I'm usually homeboys. These are my guys. But this is hip hop, so y'all know what time it is. And here comes the epic verse.
Big Sean, J Electron, Tyler McMillan. I got love for you all, but I'm trying to murder you niggas.
He calls out J. Cole, Big Crit, Wale, Pusha T, Meek Mills, A$AP Rocky, Drake, Big Sean, Jay Electronica, Tyler the Creator, and Mac Miller. Now this sent shockwaves through the entire hip hop media.
The control thing, man, like as soon as he saw me, he said, yo, I just want to tell you, because we had to walk through the neighborhood to find where we're going to shoot it at, right? 134th and Pyru. First thing he says to me is like, yo, thank you so much for understanding and not taking the verse the wrong way. He shouted out his peers. I want to take something from your fan base, Mac Miller's fan base. I want to take all of that. When is that not
just the media, but also the rappers themselves? This verse felt like it stopped time. When this verse dropped, everyone stopped to look, to listen, to respond, to look at other people's responses. This is a great moment in hip hop. And it spurred a lot of different responses to the verse. See, Kendrick's Monster verse, he was a new guy. I mean, a lot of people didn't even hear the verse. This video is probably your first time even hearing about that song. So, I mean, he didn't get any responses. He went viral and it got his name out there. But this Control verse, and if y'all know, most of y'all was there, you know what I'm talking about. This sent shockwaves through the industry. And Kendrick takes it a step further than what he did in the Monster freestyle. See, in the Monster freestyle, Kendrick is calling out legends. Snoop Dogg, Eminem, Old Dirty Bastard, Jay-Z, etc. Kendrick takes it a step further here. He's like, I didn't get the response that I wanted that first time. So I'm gonna call out my peers. J. Cole, Big Crit, Wale. Pusha T's not his peer, but Pusha T was kind of getting into his solo rap bag at the time, so sure. These are his peers for the most part. He's like, yeah, now I know I'm going to get some responses. And responses he got. I think Big Crit had the best response on Mount Olympus personally.
Rap battle never got me out of no public housing. You telling me I can be king of hip hop and they wouldn't give it to Andre 3000?
Meek Mill also had a really good response called Ooh, Kill Him. But this moment was so big. There were rappers who were not even mentioned in these 3 bars right here, but they responded anyway.
Kendrick, I think you genius. J. Cole got these niggas worried. Big Crit is a southern killer. Wale is a visionary.
Rappers like King Los, Lupe Fiasco had a response.
He's so crazy. Look at the little babe. Nigga, you ain't nah. Nigga, you ain't Jay-Z.
There are so many different responses, I can't even name them all. Y'all list some responses that came out of this. I know off the top of my head, King Los had a response and Lupe had a response. But my favorite was Big Crit. What was y'all favorite? Yeah, this is a great moment in hip hop and it accomplished what Kendrick set out to accomplish. Competition. This is hip hop. Y'all know what time it is.
But this is hip hop and them niggas should know what time it is.
And because of this verse, we got a lot of friendly responses. Personally, in 2013, I think this was kind of a down year in hip hop. In retrospect, it wasn't because there was a lot of great albums that came out, but just in the context, coming off of 2010, which is, in my opinion, one of the stacked years in hip hop history. 2010, 1996, 2018, 2011, another great year. 2012, another great year. 2013, it was kind of like falling off a little bit. So this like injected competition. It's like a steroid. It's like a shot of steroid. It injected the competition right back into the game. And yeah, I think Mac Miller was also one of my favorite responses. He didn't make a song, but he was just kind of very Mac Miller response. Man, RIP Mac Miller. We miss Mac Miller. But like I said earlier, there was one person who heard this verse on Control and actually got offended by it. See, most people are just taking it as rappers. Like, yo, let me get in the booth. Let me throw some shots back at you. But there is one rapper who took it personally.
It became personal with me.
That verse was a moment to talk about. Are you listening to it now at this point in time? Okay. It was real cool for like, a couple weeks. But like, if I asked you, for example, like, how does that verse start? Kind of puts you in a box a bit, so.
I don't think that put Kendrick in a box.
I don't know if I necessarily respect it. We all make decisions. I'm sure he'll be good.
Oh yeah, Drake wasn't too happy about this. And I had a whole different video about why Drake is jealous of Kendrick and why I also think Kendrick in some ways is jealous of Drake. But it's these moments like this that I think is one of the reasons Drake is jealous of Kendrick.
He's giving people like moments, like that verse was a moment to talk about. Are you listening to it now?
Kendrick has multiple of these moments where he just stops the rap game with a verse. It's like the Jay-Z bar.
It's funny how one verse could fuck up the game.
Funny how one verse could fuck up the game. This is Kendrick literally with his crash out verses. I think that's why you get the irritated response out of Drake that we all saw. And lastly, Kendrick's crash out verses like that Now this Crash Out verse is different than the others because Kendrick is not calling out the entire rap game. He's not mentioning a bunch of guys who he thinks are great. He's not calling out his peers in the name of competition. No, this is a straight up diss record. And it's on his verse where Kendrick crashes out over what he believed to be a diss on the song First Person Shooter.
Is it K-Dot, is it Aubrey or me? We the big three like we started a league.
But it's here where Kendrick sets his sights on Drake. He throws the bait again. Sometimes in rap, you got guys, they do this. They go fishing. They just throw that bait out there just to see what comes of it. Kendrick and Drake has done this with each other over the years many times. Sneak disses here and there, Neither of them had ever bitten the bait. Kendrick says, you know what? I think I'm ready.
Fuck sneak diss and first person shooter. I hope they came with 3 switches.
At this point, Kendrick throws the most direct shot, the most direct diss that he and Drake had ever engaged in. There had been sneak disses over the years. I mean, Kendrick allegedly dissing Drake on his own album on the song Buried Alive interlude, which I don't even know if that's true. I don't hear a diss on that song, but I also really don't like that song, which is weird because I'm a huge Kendrick supporter and I've never really been a huge fan of Drake, but I actually like that album by Drake and I don't like Kendrick's song on that album. Like Kendrick has his own song on that Drake album, Buried Alive interlude. Drake does not appear on that song. There's Drake allegedly dissing Kendrick on the song 100.
I would have all of your fans if I didn't go poppin'. I stayed on some conscious shit.
And then doing the video in Compton and then dissing Kendrick in Compton in his own hometown. There's like all these sneak disses, right, over the years. The BET Cypher.
And nothing been the same since they dropped Control and tucked the sense of the rapper back in his pajama clothes.
But it's at this point where the most direct diss occurs.
Motherfuck the big three. Nigga, it's just big me.
F the big three, it's just big me. Fun fact, in all of Kendrick's call out, crash out verses, Andre 3000 is mentioned.
I'm going after Kanye, Lupe Fiasco and Nas, Snoop Dogg and Mr. Andre, Kendrick, Jigga and Nas, Eminem, Andre 3000. If he walk around with that stick, it ain't Andre 3K.
Andre 3000 is name dropped in all of these verses, but the most direct shot is right here.
Your best work is a light pack, nigga. Prince outlived Mike Jack.
Then we get a little sneak diss. Unless you're a hip hop head, you're not going to catch this because this is something that Kendrick and Drake were doing throughout their whole sneak dissing era, and even in the actual beef. Fighting for position, who's Prince, who's Michael Jackson, one was better than the other, who wants to be Prince instead of Mike and vice versa. Kendrick is talking to Drake. A lot of people didn't realize this at the time. He's responding to what he believed the diss in First Person Shooter was.
What the fuck, bro? I'm one away from Michael, nigga. Beat it, nigga, beat it.
Like, yeah, you can beat Michael Jackson, but remember, Prince outlived him. Then here's a direct diss right here.
For all your dogs getting buried, that's a K with all these nines. He gon' see Pet Cemetery, nigga.
For all your dogs getting buried. For all your dogs was a Drake album name. For all the dogs, Fat D, as some people called it. It's almost unbelievable to believe that, yo, this was the most direct diss because it's still not even really that direct. But to us who had been listening, once Kendrick said, yo, for all your dogs getting buried, it was like, let's go, get it started. Get it started. Kendrick's Crash Out verses, man. Yo, is Kendrick a psychopath? Yo, what's wrong with this guy? What's wrong with this guy? I think honestly he does it in the name of competition because even here, this isn't really like disrespect. Yeah, maybe all your dogs getting buried, but he's not actually saying he's gonna kill Drake's people. He's just playing on wordplay with the album title. And even Euphoria, it's a very light diss, friendly diss. He's talking about I like Drake. He's talking about, yo, these are my friends, but if they disrespect me, I can be YNW Melly. You know, like this is a friendly fade. Like I still honestly think Kendrick did this out of competition until things got pushed a little further with the whole mention of families, people's families and stuff. So yeah, I think Kendrick does all these crash out verses to activate the rap game. Like that, definitely. Definitely activated the rap game, even if you look at the spill out effects of what happened between Joey Badass versus the West Coast. That was a trickle down effect of what Kendrick said, I don't like that. Control definitely activated the rap game. Yo, this is one of my favorite moments in hip hop history that I've witnessed because we just got so many songs out of this, so many songs, conversations about hip hop, competition. Like it added competition into hip hop at a time where it didn't feel competitive. At a time where it kind of felt like, at least to me, it was getting kind of like boring a little bit. This injected that back in the game. and then the Monster freestyle by Kendrick. A lot of people didn't hear this, but this was his first viral moment. This showed Kendrick like, yo, I can do this and get attention off this. Like, people enjoy when I do this type of thing. So yeah, and shout out to Andre 3000 for just continually being mentioned in these Crash Out verses. Here's the official rule. It's not a Kendrick official Crash Out verse unless Andre 3000 is mentioned. If Andre 3000 is not mentioned, it ain't a real Crash Out. So yeah, let me know what y'all think of these Crash Out verses and which one is your favorite. What's your favorite Kendrick Crash Out? Post it in the comments. Top5rapwebsite.com. Peace.